here we are at the season finale of Marvel's What If? What if there wasn't the Avengers? What if we had the Guardians of the Multiverse? After Ultron gets wind that there's other parallel universes out there throughout time, in a desperate attempt, the Watcher and Doctor Strange Supreme recruit various different people across multiple dimensions of time. Captain Carter from the first episode, a variant of Gamora who killed Thanos, Party Thor, T'Challa or Star-Lord, and Nat from the universe that Ultron destroyed. Even Killmonger gets recruited, which sadly towards the end of the episode turns out to be a big mistake. So the Watcher goes to each parallel dimension to recruit these people, saying, so-and-so, you have been chosen. In Gamora's timeline, where Stark tries to get cut in, he says, not you, Stark. Unfortunately, Tony gets thrown to the wayside throughout this whole season, and I think it's probably because the Watcher knows just how reckless he is. So as far as we know with this guy, he's not going to tempt fate. I like seeing Captain Carter's version of the Winter Soldier, at least a brief glimpse of it, as they go into the Lumerian Star and she fights Backtroc the Leaper. And seeing how these guys interact with each other, especially Peggy and Strange Supreme, says, hey, what am I like on your world? No. It's Captain America. In my world, Steve Rogers took the formula instead of you. Which piques her interest until, unfortunately, Party Thor gets Ultron's attention. On that note, Thor actually kind of got on my nerves in this episode. He's fine in his one episode. I feel like they play up for comedy too much with him in this one. Kind of a bummer to say that, because I really like Chris Hemsworth as the character, and he does have some really good moments. I just wish they toned down the need to constantly spout out one-liners and be ridiculous and stupid. It kind of makes me not care for Thor that much. I like to call it the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man syndrome, where he makes one too many jokes that it's hard for me to take him seriously. Not nearly as obnoxious, but at least for me, it kind of pushes the limits for me. T'Challa steals the Soul Stone from Ultron, and they use the horde of zombies in order to distract him, and they run into Natasha Romanoff where they come up with a plan in order to steal the stones from Ultron, using a stone crusher that Gamora created from her universe. And at first it looks like they managed to destroy Ultron, but as T'Challa says, it doesn't feel over. Took the words right out of my mouth, because I thought the exact same thing. And it turns out it's another Ultron from another dimension, if I remember correctly. But they managed to destroy Ultron with the help of Arnim Zola, who was planted as a virus in an arrow that was left by Hawkeye. So just with the right amount of timing, Natasha and Peggy managed to shoot the arrow into Ultron's head, and Zola takes over Ultron's body. But unfortunately, Killmonger takes control of Ultron's suit with the Infinity Stones.
With these stones, we could fix our worlds. You can be with your fella again. Strange, you more than anyone know that this is it.
Should have figured that Killmonger was going to be up to something, because one character says, you trust him? And there's a look of doubt on both of their faces, and I think that gives the audience a hint that this guy's going to try to pull something later on. Then Zola, who's controlling Ultron's mind, fights Killmonger for the stones, and then as they fight each other, Strange manages to contain them in a pocket dimension and agrees with the Watcher to watch over them to make sure that they don't try to escape. Makes sense, because those two are very powerful considering what they've got at their disposal, so you don't want to take any chances of them getting out and possibly causing even more harm to the multiverse. So all except for Nat return to their respective universes, and Nat does not want to go back to her world, and she wants the Watcher to fix her timeline, but he can't since he has to keep his oath. And I love the exchange between the two, because she says, why can't you just fix it? Don't you even care? Your story means everything to me, Nat, but I can't undo what's been done. And he sends her back to a different timeline where Nat was killed. Nick Fury realizes right away this isn't the same Black Widow, but he knows that she has the same spirit that their Black Widow did, and she manages to find her new place. Now, not to get too deep into philosophical territory here, but I kind of like to say that this is someone talking to God, basically. Like, why won't you do anything? Don't you even care what happened to me? And God, in a lot of ways, says to people, yes, I do care. I do care about you. I do love your story, but it's better this way. If you trust me, you'll see what I mean. I said this before in my previous reviews. I like to think of the Watcher as the god of the Marvel Universe, so to speak. Watches over every single universe and has a deep personal investment in what their life story is. And then we get a mid-credits scene where Nat shows Captain Carter a crate containing the Hydra Stomper suit with somebody inside. Steve Rogers is in that suit, unless they pull a 180 in season 2. I'm gonna assume that's him in the armor. And that's the end of season 1 of Marvel's What If. I really liked the show and what they did. I really liked the different scenarios that they played out. If I had to pick a favorite episode, besides the finale, I would have to probably go with the zombie episode, because it contains some of my favorite lines when Bucky says, I should be sad, but I'm not. And his final goodbye to zombie Captain America hits hard right here a little bit, where he says, sorry pal, I guess this is the end of the line. And we also get some insight spotlight on Tom Holland's Spider-Man that we don't really get in the solo Spider-Man movies. In any case, I really like how they address it and how he's so upbeat and how he tries to lift people's spirits when they're feeling otherwise. And this is supposedly Chadwick Boseman's final acting performance throughout this show. If anything, I'm really glad that we got to hear his voice one more time in playing T'Challa. If it wasn't for him, this character would not have had the impact that it did. Chadwick, if you're listening up there, thank you for everything, and I'm really sad to see you go. But I'm really looking forward to season 2 and what else they could bring to the table. There's all kinds of possibilities that they could take this, and I think this is the only way you could really go into the what-if scenarios. You could probably do a little bit of that in the movies to a certain point, but a lot of these actors' contracts are up, so probably more than likely they're not gonna want to return unless maybe it's for a quick scene or a quick cameo. They could do stuff like that, but in animation, you got more free reign to do what you want. So yeah, I'm looking forward to season 2. I think the show has got a lot of great potential. Some things they could fix a little bit here and there. The animation, I think, needs some tweaking. And some of the episodes, like Thor, I think they need to take a little bit more seriously and not focus too much on the comedic side. It's not a bad thing, but I think it was a little too much. So those are my thoughts on the finale of What If, and as for the rest of the season, really like what I saw. Can't wait to see more. What are your guys' thoughts on the show so far, and what's your favorite episode? Comment below and tell me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.